I don't know if you ever had the situation where your parents have sat you down and tried to give you some advice, and whether or not you remember it or not, it depends probably what it was. But I remember a couple of bits of advice that I got when I was younger that always have stayed with me over the years. And Proverbs is presented as a father giving advice to his son. And this is the key kind of piece of advice that we read today in the passage, and it's this theme of wisdom that we were talking about the other day. He says, get wisdom, get understanding. Like if you don't do anything else in your life, seek wisdom and seek understanding. And for us, we talked about how actually that can be the key to really knowing how to do what matters, and if you want to do what's right, even how to go about it, you need wisdom for that. So wisdom is non-essential. It is essential. It's non-negotiable. What's the source of wisdom? The source of wisdom for us is God. And Elihu is building up to kind of the final part of his speech, and in the final bit he goes off on one about creation, and he says, look at the summer heat, and look at the clouds, and look at the snow, and consider the lightning, and look at this incredible world that we're living in. Job, you can't even understand that. How much more is God above and beyond our understanding? And of course, there's truth in that, isn't there? That we live in this incredible universe that we only understand just a tiny little speck, where this little speck Earth floating in the vast hall that is the universe. Our understanding really is actually so limited. And the source of wisdom that we have is the person of God himself. That's the joy that we have as Christians. And Paul actually writes in his letter to the Corinthians about how the foolishness of God is wiser than the wisdom of human beings. Our greatest thoughts don't even compare to God's kind of worst thought. And so for us, what I'd encourage us to do out of this passage is to deliberately, every day if we can, seek God's guidance for our lives. Whatever major decisions we have to make, even whatever small decisions, present them to God and ask him to give us direction. And most of the time, he'll speak to us. The way that he'll speak to us will be through the Bible, first and foremost, but also God tends to speak in gentle whispers. And most of the time we don't hear him because we're not trying to hear him. We think he doesn't speak, but actually we're not really giving much space to listen. Most of the ways that God speaks is in a still, small voice. Seek his wisdom, seek his direction, seek his guidance, ask him, and then be still. Sometimes we don't have enough silence in our day to allow us to hear him speak. So give yourself some quiet and ask him to guide you, and he will.